I'm a person who likes traveling.
She's a farmer, restaurateur, philanthropist, and business mogul running multiple companies in Kenya and beyond.
Coffee is our heritage. Coffee is in my blood.
Yes, today on Daring Abroad, German-based Muthoni Schneidewind shares how she's bringing a taste of Kenya to Deutschland with a twist.
And moving to Europe, I realized that Kenyan coffee was very expensive. Everyone knows that coffee producers are poor. I wanted to change this narrative.
Yes, today's show is a little bit different. Instead of serving you some tea, we shall be offering you some coffee from all the way in Germany and the impact of today's guests both home and away. My name is Michael Zimanji and Daring Abroad starts now.
German-based Muthoni Schneidewind is a Jill of all trades, but a master of all. She's a farmer, restaurateur, philanthropist, and business mogul running multiple organizations in Kenya and beyond. We first met Muthoni at her establishment, Chania Coffee House in Germany, named after River Chania in Nyeri County. Chania Coffee is known for its rich and refreshing Kenyan-grown coffee.
Coffee is our heritage. I was born and grew up in Mount Kenya and the Aberdare Mountains. My family, all their lives, my father and his father before him has been coffee producers.
Coffee is in your blood.
Coffee is in my blood. We know nothing else.
Yes, Muthoni, who prefers going by Soni, is a third-generation coffee farmer.
It's coffee that took me to school. I actually am maybe the generation that really know what it means to be a coffee farmer's child, because most of our free time was spent picking coffee in the coffee fields. Every Saturday, every time we had the holidays, was just picking coffee. We know nothing else, basically. I'm a coffee farmer's daughter.
This is what funded her education from primary all the way to university.
I'm a student of Bachelor of Commerce. I did my degree in the Nairobi University and I have a Bachelor of Commerce. I worked in several companies in Kenya in the marketing field because I majored in marketing before I decided to move or relocate to Germany. I'm a person who likes traveling. I've always done that. My family knows that I cannot sit down. I like being wild and free. I wanted to see the other side of the world. And I moved to Germany basically actually to work. I had worked for an international company back in Kenya. And when I moved here, things were a bit easier. There was not a lot of requirements for professionals who wanted to come and work or study in Germany.
That is how Soni landed here in Germany back in 2009.
I worked for Vitakraft here in Germany. It's a company, the same in marketing division. It's a company that produces actually pet food. And then I had a small stint at Coca-Cola as well.
After doubling in employment for a couple of years, Soni felt it was time to branch out and bring the good people of Deutschland a taste of Kenya.
As I said, I'm a coffee farmer's daughter. I grew up drinking coffee. And moving to Europe, I realized that Kenyan coffee was very expensive. So when I was at Coca-Cola, I decided to think of something else to do. And I would quit my job there to start my business.
That's how Chania Coffee was born.
How it began was very, very small. I did the research of how could I get this Kenyan coffee directory, because all along we know about the coffee auction. You know, going to the coffee auction, Chamwanda, everyone knows that coffee producers are poor. I wanted to change this narrative. Is it possible to make coffee producers take care of their lives? Is it possible to have these people be different? So I didn't want to go to the auction, and I started researching. And I found that there was a law that was passed in 2007 that allowed the direct trade of Kenyan coffee to the world. But these farmers definitely are not in a position to sell this coffee direct themselves. Look, my father is turning 70. How do you expect him to sell coffee directly to Germany? You know, he doesn't have the know-how. Most of them have those small phones we call mulikamuzi, exactly. They have mulikamuzi, you know? And here I was in a country that drinks or consumes most of the coffee in the world. An average German drinks 160 liters of coffee in a year. Wow. Those are the statistics. It's not a joke. So all we had to do was get the paperwork in order. That's why it took us a long time, that I had to get the paperwork here in Germany in order, and as well in Kenya. We did both of them simultaneously, that they could export the coffee to us, and I could import this coffee direct here without someone in the middle for us. And then once this was in place, then we were able to ship our first container in February of 2014. That is the first time we were able to ship a full container. In 2013, we were able to have all the paperwork in place. We opened the coffee business here in Germany on the 1st of May 2013, that is 10 years ago, and we actually airlifted our first 30 kilos of Kenyan coffee. We airlifted with Lufthansa cargo to prove to the world that it's possible to import Kenyan coffee directly. Yes, it was very expensive. We didn't make any money, but that is the only way we're going to prove even to the farmers themselves and even to our customers here that you can buy Kenyan coffee directly.
As a grower-marketer, Chania Coffee exports an average of 57 tons per year from Kenya.
Those are 3 containers of 20 feet each. We used to do 4, but business went a bit down because we are not only coffee roasters, we are also green coffee resellers. That means we sell green coffee beans to other small coffee roasters like us. Say, for example, I have a customer who wants, like I have a customer called Iris. She'll buy 5 bags. Another one will buy 2 bags. Another one will buy 1 bag. 1 bag of coffee has 60 kilos. So we really sell also green coffee to other small roasters. Supermarkets, we only sell roasted coffee. That is what we roast ourselves here. And this we sell to the supermarkets. We have several brands. We have Kijiji Espresso. We have Nyumbani Espresso. We have a very good filter coffee called Kaki Kahava. We use Swahili names in our brands.
Let's now talk procedure. Typically, for one to export coffee out of Kenya, you'd require a pulping station license, grower-marketer license, coffee dealer license, and register as an exporter with the Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, commonly known as KEFIS. Exporting through the port of Mombasa also requires a phytosanitary certificate as well as an International Coffee Organization certificate issued by KEFIS and Kenya National Trade Net System respectively. Since Chania Coffee is based in Germany, there are additional requirements.
As a coffee importer, of course, you need a proper setup business, a legal business that is set up. And then you have to register yourself as an importer. There are documents that you have to submit, of course, from the bank that you are capable to do this business. You cannot simply wake up and be a coffee importer because coffee means a lot of money. Like, for example, a full container load of coffee, we are talking of 80 to 120,000 USD. Most of the coffee is traded through something we call an LC. An LC is a letter of credit where your bank agrees to cover this on your behalf. So when we contract the coffee in Kenya, I don't give them cash. My bank will send an LC to the bank of the exporter in Kenya to guarantee that once I receive my documents here in Germany, my bank will release the money immediately. So you have to have this kind of a setup. You have to have this capital here in Germany to be a proper coffee importer. You need a license. You need something we call a Nyeri number. A Nyeri number is actually a basic as an importer's numbers license, so that because when the product comes in, you have to deal with customs. Then coffee is not something that you can store in your house, because coffee has to be warehoused in an area that the temperature is constant. So we have warehouses in Hamburg that we work with. You do not own the warehouses. You have to talk to the people who own the warehouses and you tell them, okay, I'm now a coffee importer, I'll be sending the coffee to you. And then what they do is they charge you per ton, per month. Those are how it works. And then all I do, when I need the coffee to roast now, I go to Hamburg, to the city, to the warehouse. I pick like 10 or 20 bags. I roast them. When they are finished, I go and pick up again because we are roasting here. Yes. This is a setup that you need basically here in Europe. To roast coffee, you need a lot of certifications. First of all, you have to talk to the Ministry of Health you have to identify a ground where you want to roast the coffee. The building itself, it has to be inspected if it meets the standards of food manufacturing. So you need the health inspector will come and check it out. If he approves, then you make your application to the customs, the sole armed, yes, it's the customs. Because you see, once now you are a manufacturer, there's a specific tax that you pay once you roast coffee. Meaning, it's like when you are making beer or whatever, you know, there is that tax, the product tax that you pay. So for every kilo of coffee that you roast, you have to pay €2.19 to the customs office as a coffee tax. It's called a coffee tax, actually, basically. It's called a coffee tax.
Do something like import duty and that's all?
No, coffee does not have import duty because it comes in as a green product. It's a raw product. So it does not attract any import duty. But the minute you change that to roasted coffee, you have to pay something called a coffee tax.
How is it monitored if I just roast it?
Oh, my friend, this is Europe. No. You see, we have a trail of paperwork, which I will show you. Once I received coffee from the warehouse, I have what you call a release order, which shows I got 10 bags of coffee, and you have to come and put them in the system that you have moved in green coffee to the roastery, 10 bags. The minute I move these, at that particular point, they're still raw products. But when I move them from the one part of the roastery, which I'll show you, to the roasting part, then that means it's now supposed to be entered in the book that's supposed to be roasted, 10 bags of it. And then you roast this and you enter how number of kilos you roasted and the number of tax that attracts, and then you submit this money at the end of every month. You see, Germany, doing business in Germany, you have to be very honest. We don't play games because they come and check your books every year. They'll come and check your books every year. Bookkeeping is key.
You have a good auditor.
Yes, I have a good auditor. And bookkeeping is very, very important because everything has to match. The number of coffee that we imported versus what we sold as green coffee minus what we roasted ourselves. Then the tax is the coffee tax we have to pay.
Wow.
Yes.
Talk about staying true to your roots. We shall continue with Muthoni's inspiring journey after the break, as well as some information about the upcoming Daring Abroad investment forums in Australia. Welcome back to the show. Now, today it is all about an enterprising Kenyan who is like a Jill of all trades but a master of all. In the first part, we took you to Germany and we showed you how Muthoni was able to start her business there. Now, let's focus in Kenya and see the processes and the activities that she's carrying out in her home county of Nyeri.
For the past 11 years, Muthoni Schneidewind has been sharing Kenya's rich culture with the world through importation and distribution of Kenyan-grown coffee. Since 2013, Sony has been changing the narrative of having rich coffee dealers but poor coffee farmers. This has been through her company, Chania Coffee. As a grower-marketer, Sony negotiates prices, sells and distributes the coffee directly to the buyers as opposed to the common practice of selling through the Nairobi Coffee Exchange auction, where marketing agents sell to coffee dealers on behalf of smallholder growers.
Coffee is a commodity that is traded on the coffee exchange. It's on the New York Coffee Exchange. So you can see the prices there, and that is what has been used as a guideline all along to buy coffee from the auction. But we do differently. We wanted exactly to establish how much does a producer use, how much money do they spend to produce 1 kilo of coffee. And then from this price, we agreed we will not be looking at, of course we look at the market trend, how the coffee is being sold in the exchange and everything. But the price we pay them is determined by the current situation, the current economic situation.
The farmers would get a better price as compared to, say, those going through middlemen.
Yes, because you see, they have sold their coffee directly because you see, most of the farmers, they lose the money through, you have so many people in between them. You have so many people between the farmer and the consumer in the abroad or in Kenya itself. And what we have done is we have cut this middleman. The farmers do not have anyone between them and us. They have only the export office, which covers only the logistics. We currently have 11,527 farmers working for us.
Speaking of Kenyan farmers, we got to witness firsthand Sony's operation in Kenya. This is KEDOVO Kenya, a non-profit organization that is supported by Chania Coffee. Here, farmers are trained on best farming practices and advised on managing finances. Kagiri Mugo is the project director.
KEDOVO started in 2013. Now this is our 10th year, and we have been supporting our coffee farmers in terms of quality of coffee that they produce. We facilitate them to adhere to good agricultural practices so that they can get quality coffee. And then after we get a quality coffee, we also help them to market their coffee in Germany. So the main activity in the coffee farms is pruning. So typically my work is to coordinate the farmers and to make sure that they do the correct thing in terms of pruning. So we normally train them. We take them to trade fairs when we have them, the agricultural trade fairs. And also we organize them in groups whereby we have what we call the focal farmers. And the focal farmers are normally used to train the others. We call them the trainers of trainers. So what we do is that we empower them, they get the capacity, and then this knowledge they can be able to transfer to the other farmers.
This is one of our farms where we work in Nyeri with small-scale coffee farmers.
Wow.
That is the group of people that we deal with.
Yes.
We mainly focus on women. Our main focus is women in coffee.
Yes.
That we basically deal with women to empower them to produce good quality coffee. This is the same coffee that we import now direct to Germany.
Okay.
This one alone is not so big. We normally base the sizes of the farms based on the number of trees that an individual farmer has.
Okay.
Because you find in Nyeri, we practice what is called subsistence farming. They don't just do coffee, we don't deal with coffee estates.
Yes.
Like this particular farmer or this particular farm has allowed 1,700 coffee trees. We have other small farms, like maybe with 100 coffee trees, with 200, because our main focus is only to deal with small-scale coffee farmers, which we consolidate together and work with them together as a project. We don't want to deal with estate farmers.
Yes.
We want to help or support those small-scale coffee producers.
Just like Sony, KEDOVO does more than just train farmers and process coffee cherries. They also engage in market research and quality control.
What we normally do is that we get the samples from the farmers and we do the lab tests for the coffee. We do the sampling, the cupping, and then we can be able to send these samples to Germany. After sending them to Germany, we normally get the feedback, and then we can be able now to source and export the coffee to Germany.
Now, one important pillar of KEDOVO is championing alternative revenue streams.
Coffee is a seasonal product.
Yes.
Like now we don't have any more coffee trees, coffee on the bushes.
Yes.
That means in the coming 3 to 4 months, we don't have any income in this village. So we came up with ideas, or the community themselves came up with ideas that might support them to give them some income on a monthly basis. And we have some other projects, like a dairy project where we process yogurt. We have a bakery, we have a coffee lab, and these projects are all supported by the work of KEDOVO. That means this group of women delivers milk as well to the KEDOVO dairy.
Yes.
So they have some income coming in. They deliver eggs to the KEDOVO bakery to make cakes and bread and stuff like that. So there is something income generating.
In addition, KEDOVO also doubles in a number of CSR activities.
10% of our revenue that we generate from the sale of coffee in Germany comes back to the community who produce our coffee. This money is not a donation. It's part of our empowerment for the community. And what we do, we focus on projects that are dealing with social projects. Like we have some schools which we are supporting.
This is Kericho Primary School. It's a public primary school, which we have partnered so well with KEDOVO CBO. And we have been able to do several projects for them in partnership with the parents and teachers from this region. In 2017, we started with the renovations of the classrooms. That was the wall plastering, the flooring, and the fixing of the doors and windows, general renovations, even fixing the leaking loops. Then we also had another engagement of having the school kitchen.
Despite all she's done, Soni is just getting started. Another frontier for her is hospitality, with construction already underway of developments for Airbnbs. Truly remarkable. Soni's journey has had some ups and downs, but judging from all that the proud daughter of Nyeri has been able to accomplish, daring abroad was the best decision, not only for her, but also her community back home.
Tangu aanze kutusaidia ama kunisaidia, tumeona usaidizi, tumeona ni ametusaidia na kutuonyesha penye tunaweza lima hii kahawa na itusaidie. Tofauti ya huko mbeleni hatukuwa na tumeendelea sana juu tulikuwa chini, lakini saa hii tumeinuka.
It makes me feel great because when it comes to people and you see their children are going to school, they are getting good lives, it's really something that it's warm.
Living abroad has made me see a different perspective of life. As I said from the beginning, I'm a social entrepreneur. I did not want to do a business for me myself. I wanted to give back to the community. I'm a Rotarian, I'm a mother, and a person who advocates for coffee farmers. And being here and seeing how things are done in an orderly manner has taught me that everything is possible. All you have to do is believe in yourself.
Passion, hard work, integrity, servanthood, and philanthropy. This best summarizes Soni's story, and looking back, we definitely can learn a thing or two.
And that's the tea, or rather the coffee. Many thanks to Muthoni for the motivation. And with that, we are done with today's show. But before I let you go, Champs Media has organized investment forums across 14 cities all over the globe, with the first one happening in Australia, in Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth cities. Yes, it shall be happening this March, and this of course is in collaboration with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Kenya-Australia Chamber of Commerce, the State Department for Diaspora Affairs, as well as various associations of Kenyans living in those cities. This is a must-attend event, and if you're interested in plugging in, kindly contact us and we'll be able to link you up so that you can have visibility across the 14 cities. I cannot wait to see you join us in this amazing journey. And with that, we are done. Many thanks for watching. So let's do this again next time.